Ooh, ah, just a little bit. Ooh, ah, a little bit more. Ooh, ah, just a little bit. It's January 8th, and that's what I'm looking for.
Wow, we've done it. We've completed the first week in January.
We did. And do you want to let people know at home what we did?
What did we do in our first week? We did so much.
We did so much. We did too much.
Too much. Possibly pushed ourselves to the limit.
Yeah, but we're here. And actually, one of the things that people can use to get through those times is little addictions. And they might not be what you think.
No.
So today we're going to talk about addictions. And I'm going to read you something here, okay?
Please,
this is from Seneca, one of your friends and mine.
I like him.
Thank you. We must give up many things to which we are addicted, considering them to be good. Otherwise, courage will vanish, which should continually test itself. Greatness of the soul will be lost, which can stand out unless it disdains as petty what the mob regards as most desirable.
Very beautiful. So when I think about this in the world of sales, the thing that springs to mind is dopamine. The dopamine addiction. I definitely think as a generation we are addicted to dopamine, and our attention spans are... Sorry, what's happening over there? That was just a little side joke, but our attention spans are dwindling. Okay, so what does the dopamine addiction look like in sales? What could that be? It could be chasing LinkedIn likes or notifications. It could be sitting and scrolling TikTok at your desk. What else could it look like?
Could look like the booking of the meeting. It could look like the closing of the deal. Have you already said that?
No, I didn't say that.
Say that already. It could look like the hitting of target, the hitting of the stretch target, the getting the promotion. But you'll notice what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thing. I've planted my dopamine flag in the goal ahead. But what is fulfillment? Fulfillment is just a promise with yourself to delay happiness.
Oh, I'll be happy when.
I'll be happy when.
I hear it all the time. I'll be happy when I hit commission. But actually, be happy now.
Exactly. So I've talked about this before. There's this idea of neuroplasticity. So you can reprogram your brain to actually fall in love with certain other processes. So is the dopamine most useful in the getting or of the doing? Does that make sense? So I can actually, I'm trying to get better as a salesperson. I've gamified the sales approach. So today what I'm going to focus on is using mirroring or labeling or handling that objection a little bit better, or talking about what do you mean and clarifying things a little bit better. I'm falling in love today with the process of getting better. That's where my dopamine response is going to come from. And what you'll find is it's a much more consistent process, because you're not then saying, well, I'm only going to be happy when I book a meeting. 2 days have gone by, 3 days I haven't booked a meeting. Instead, a meeting is just a byproduct of the job done well.
Yeah.
The deal close is just a byproduct of the process done well, and so on and so forth. Do you get what I'm saying, Jack?
I get what you're saying. And it's about making a promise with yourself. And the promise isn't necessarily, I'm going to book a meeting. Obviously, that there is something in positive self-talk and saying you can and achieving you can. But I think that goes more to, I'm not going to get a meeting today. I'm not going to close that deal. Then you probably won't. But just making that promise with yourself. And it's about that feeling at the end of the day of, I made the promise. I said I was going to do X, put the work in. What I could control, I was going to control. And that's where the dopamine comes in. That satisfaction of like, we know when we tick all the boxes that we were planning to do in the morning, you look back and go, I've completed the morning. That I said I was going to do that, and I've done that. I made that promise with myself. I've kept it, and like I feel like I've got all this evidence of things I'm going to do, which helps you move forward as you move forward into the year as well and be better.
Yeah, having that stack of evidence that you are who you say you are. That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I think the only other thing that I want to maybe mention on this one is the idea of taking things professionally instead of personally. So we can attach things to... Dopamine can also come from being liked, being accepted by the tribe. And if you're thinking, I'm breaking into that enterprise deal and I'm up against these other 3 companies, and if they just accept me and we close that deal, that's where all my validation and dopamine are going to come from. But what if it doesn't happen? and actually being okay to just separate that out and take it as it's professional, not personal. They've not rejected you.
No.
They just didn't have a need for what you do, or they decided to go in a different direction. It's professional, not personal.
And they might have liked you. It's the 8th of January, so it's probably a good time to say, people. Let's talk about that phrase. People buy from people they like. What's your thoughts?
I think the reality of that is, I mean, there's a few different ways you can look at it. Right? The other way that people say this is people buy from people like them.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I would go one step further and say you don't matter in the whole process. You know what I mean? Like, you sit down with a therapist. The therapist doesn't go, after everything you say, go, no way. That happened to me.
Me too.
That happened to me. And your dad left. Oh my God. My dad left.
You got burnout.
Oh, same.
Guys.
Same. That's not what it is.
No.
The therapist is actually, you don't know anything about them. They're just a vessel for you. They're just holding up the mirror, nudging you along, making sure you're challenging certain things along the way. But you're almost not an interrupting component of the process. So I'd say people buy from people, but almost people just buy from themselves, from ideas they've already got, biases they've already got. You're just there to be a mirror for that person. The best salesperson is a chameleon.
The best salesperson is a lazy river, just nudging them along the way. You're sat there in your little lilo, and I'm just going, nudge, nudge, nudge. You going round again.
Wow, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. I've been Jack Frimpson.
I've been Zach Thompson.
Remember, you will die.
And I've got tiny little social workers for hair.